Hey, what's going on, Black people? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I thought that I would take a second and mention something that I just saw on Roland Martin's YouTube channel. I found this really interesting. Don't ask me why I'm talking about it. Maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't really care. I just kind of share things that are on my mind. And I was really curious about that interview that he did with King Randall. And if you recall, King Randall is the young brother, the 21-year-old who started a school in Georgia. And he's doing a great job with very limited resources. I spoke to King Randall on the phone and had him on last week, and he was amazing. I mean, just so smart, so intelligent. And the reason I had him on and the reason he got my attention was because that interview he did with Roland, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was fair. I thought Roland was kind of behaving in a way that I honestly feel is inappropriate when you are 50 years old and you're talking to a 21-year-old. You know, I got kids older than King Randall. So, to see a man my age or a little older than me kind of go in like that really made me upset. It bothered me a lot, and I made a donation to the school. It wasn't a ton of money. It was about $3,000. But I talked to Alicia about it. She's an educator, and we gave money. We said we got to support this. But anyway, I went to the channel, and don't ask me why I'm even talking about this. I don't even know how this. I don't know. It seems like it just sounds like I have a vendetta against Roland. Maybe it sounds like I do. I don't know. I mean, I haven't liked the guy. I don't hate him. I just don't like him that much. Right? It's not like I can't stand him. I wake up every day pissed off at him. It's more to say that I think that more could be done with his platform, and I hope he takes a lesson from this. But I went to his channel and I was curious to see, what do Roland Martin's viewers think about what Roland did? Like, what is he, what do they think? Not what I think, right? Who cares what I think, right? What do they think? And I was reading the comments underneath the King Randall interview, which is really good, by the way. You should watch it. King Randall held himself, he stood up for himself really well. He dealt with the bullying in a really amazing way. It looked like bullying to me, but I think it's bullying because when you've been in this game 30 something years and you're talking to somebody who literally, wasn't even born when you started doing what you do, you kind of are going in with a huge advantage over them. I mean, you just understand nuances of debate that a young person typically doesn't get. Facts they don't know. And it bothered me, reminded me of when Ice Cube went on Roland's platform. And I said, why is he attacking Ice Cube so much? Why is he fighting with Ice Cube? Like almost like it's his job. Like somebody said, here's what we want you to do. We want you to go and find the most progressive activity occurring in the Black community. We want you to fight as long, because since if they ain't Democrats, then they can't be good. They can't be good if they ain't voting for Joe Biden. So anyway, let me read some of the comments, and I thought they were really interesting. So the first comment, I'm literally reading right down the list of comments right on Roland's YouTube channel underneath that King Randall interview. So the first comment was made by King B, and it says, the young man is correct. There is more than one train of thought, Roland. Celestino Mazamudo says, this young man is so much better for the community than Roland will ever be. Coconut Curl says, Roland Martin is disgusting for trying to undermine this young man. He isn't saying to not vote or anything. He's just saying we need to take action outside the government. Margaret Charles, I'm literally reading I'm not skipping over any of the comments. I'm not, you know, cherry picking. I don't even, some of these comments I haven't even read yet. I just thought it would be interesting to share with you guys just as a point of conversation. What I saw, it kind of floored me a little bit. Margaret Charles says, Roland is the typical sensationalist. This young leader is not into drama or arousing emotions. He is focused. Importantly, he doesn't diminish other people's mission. That is why he kept stating that he is part of a body. Roland did his best and failed at painting him as a deterrent to voting rights issues. Marquise Harrison, says Roland Martin represents the old guard of Black thinking, constantly seeking the white man's approval and begging for scraps. King Randall represents the new wave, do for self. Papa Duck says, this guy Roland is full of shit. The next one, Mason Hazelwood says, tried to make him look stupid when the young man actually was giving lessons on how we can uplift our people. Eric Peterson says, borrowed quote, this 21-year-old man buys a school, Roland Martin buys dashikis. Oh, that's deep. Frank Russell says Thomas Sowell talks about this. Often black leaders hold them back. Martin is an example. Now, mind you, I've read about 10 comments on Roland's page, and there's thousands of these comments. I'm just reading from the top. I have yet to run into one comment that is favorable toward Roland and negative toward King Randall, right? Not one. Not yet. I'm literally reading them in sequential order, and this is not an unbiased audience. This is an audience that is biased in favor of Roland. Like these are his people. He's got 751,000 subscribers on that channel. I don't have a channel that big. My main channel has 277,000. Your Black World, we have over 400,000. We've got other platforms of the Black Financial Channel, stuff like that, a few 100,000 there. But you've got 750,000 people that have chosen to subscribe to the channel. And I understand that, it is because, Roland, I think, is a talented journalist. I'm not going to take that away from him. He also seems to care about Black people in his own way. The limitation is that he comes off as a Democratic Party operative. He comes off as somebody who doesn't think that you're legitimately Black unless you are a Democrat like him. It reminds me of when Joe Biden said, "If you don't vote for if you vote for Trump over me, then you ain't Black." Right? It's like a type of Blackness that is acceptable, and any other form of Blackness, any other expression of Blackness, seems to be a problem. And it really sounds almost like ego, like this is the path, this is the way, I'm the path, I am the way, and if you don't agree with me, then that makes you an enemy. Now, Roland, I know he explained. I heard he did a video and he did some lives and he talked about me and talked about Vicky Dillard and stuff like that. I didn't watch any of that. I didn't see any of it. I did see one clip where he said something about, I got receipts for y'all's asses. I got receipts for y'all's asses. And he had these panelists that, I could look in their eyes and tell that they were uncomfortable with what was going on. Of course, might go along with it because they're trying to get onto the show. And people that are trying to get onto a platform, they're not going to piss Roland off because they want to be reinvited back. But, it was kind of unfortunate because I feel like even they were sort of stuck in this embarrassing position that in which they were trying to align themselves with somebody who clearly was in the wrong, who clearly was getting beat up on you, who's clearly was being dealt with by the Black community for saying, "What are you doing? Why are you beating up on little kids?" Like, don't explain it away. Don't say, "Oh, it was a bait and switch," or "that 21-year-old, he fooled me, he tricked me, he did a bait and switch." I think that's what Roland said. He said he did a bait and switch. He was coming on to talk about voting rights. He started talking about his school. Yeah, but it just doesn't sound right. It sounds silly. It sounds kind of crazy. So as I'm reading these comments on Roland's channel now, on his YouTube channel, I'm not skipping any comments. I'm not cherry picking. I'm not jumping from comment to comment, picking the ones that fit my pre-existing narrative. I'm literally reading in sequential order. You can go to the channel right now, go find that interview and read down the comments. Read the first 50 comments or so. You have to keep reading to find one comment where they agree with Roland. I think in that particular situation, you're supposed to kind of stand down a little bit, like at least have enough empathy to say, I wonder why everyone disagrees with me. And I think that a blind spot that Roland has, and this is something I picked up on him in him back in 2006 when I first met him. I told y'all the story how I met him on CNN, and it was me, him, and Wendy Williams going on to talk about some story with Oprah Winfrey and 50 Cent. And I remember thinking, gosh, this guy seems kind of full of himself. He doesn't seem to have the ability to understand that he might not know everything. And I think that sort of arrogance is it's a problem for me because I think it represents very bad Black leadership. For some reason in our community, we celebrate that. Like, I guess maybe because our self-esteem is so low, we love the arrogant Negro. We love the guy who acts like he's Superman, who tells you that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's the most amazing thing on the earth, and he does it all by. He's the most highly sought after, whatever, and the most respected. Blah 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 blah. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being confident in who you are. I'm very confident in who I am. I'm very confident in my credentials and all that stuff. But one of the things that I think we can maybe benefit from is understanding that we all have to do this together. That I know that without you, I'm nothing. Without you, I'm nothing, and and I have to listen to you. On some, it doesn't mean I let people tell me what to think, but I have to listen. And I think that in this case, I get a sense Roland isn't listening. He keeps doing videos to try to explain it away. And it's almost like, every time you open your mouth and you try to explain why you were beating up on a 21-year-old on your show, instead of cheering him on, didn't take 1 second to congratulate him on the school, not that I saw in the video, it makes you look really bad. And it also makes you look like the old guy who tries to block and squash young people who might be better than you at what you did, who might actually have some ideas that are taking things to the next level. And so you don't want to make yourself into a dinosaur that way. I really think, don't get me wrong, I don't go along with everything I see young people doing. Like I saw this rapper Lil Nas X on a stripper pole doing lap dances for the devil with some Satan Nike sneakers or something with blood in them. And I said, this is crazy. This is insanity. Like, I'm not going along with this nonsense. What the hell is this? Right. So sometimes you got to step up and say something. But in general, I don't think it's a good idea to try to squash progress. Right. And also what it does, unfortunately, is it fits into the narrative that I've always had that, in the Black community, you don't really have a lot of Black leaders. You have Negro managers. And Negro managers are people who are positioned to appear to be Black leaders, but a leader is supposed to empower you. These leaders don't empower you, they tell you what to do, right? They don't help you to gain freedom, they just help you find a more comfortable type of slavery. When they see real revolution occurring in the community, their job is to squash that. Their job is to take over the wheel of the car and drive it off a cliff. Just keeping it 100, I feel like Al Sharpton has done a lot of that. In fact, I remember when Barack Obama first got into office, and Obama, it got to the point where people started wondering, did we make a good investment with this guy? It got to be about year 2 or year 3 where Obama was not doing anything for Black folks, not addressing any of the issues that he said he was going to address. And a few of us started speaking up on it. Myself, Dr. Wilmer Leon, I think Wilmer's at Howard, he might be somewhere else now, etc. And Wilmer shared some information with me about Valerie Jarrett. And Valerie Jarrett, basically, according to Wilmer, was dodging meetings with the Congressional Black Caucus. At least that's what the claim was at the time. And I remember Al Sharpton reached out to me and said, I want to have a debate. I want to host a debate between you and Melissa Harris Perry on my radio show. This is a true story. So he told me he wanted to basically position himself as the referee in a debate between me and Melissa Harris Perry over whether Obama was doing enough for the Black community. And it didn't take me long to realize this was a setup, that Al Sharpton, he was not an unbiased, character in this conversation. It was him and Melissa kind of jumping at me, kind of, chopping, like, who are you and why would you say this and what's wrong with you? And I remember just that's what pissed me off. I felt a lot like King Randall might have felt when you're like, wait a minute, I thought you were my friend, but you're acting like my enemy right now. And you're trying to squash me. You're trying to, I feel oppressed right now. And so I think that with all of this, my point is to say that when you have the Negro managers in the community who are the ones that will say, yeah, pro-Black, assalamu alaikum. Now, everybody, let's make sure we get to the polls, because that's the only way to be Black is to vote for the Democrats. Because if you do anything outside of that, including not voting for anybody, if you do anything outside of what I tell you to do, then you ain't really Black. Well, that's a problem. Like, and if I ever do this, if I ever start, telling you guys what you must do, then feel free to correct me. Feel free to offer another point of view. Feel free to say, hey, boys, what about this approach? And maybe I should be challenged to consider other alternatives or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, we have a right to have our preferences, but we don't have the right to oppress, right? So let me I'll read a few more of the comments. If you could do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. I'm literally reading comments right off Roland Martin's very own YouTube channel, which is really surprising to me. And of course, when you look at the thumbs up, the ratio of thumbs up to thumbs down, the majority are thumbs down. I think 6,700 thumbs down, 5,000 thumbs up. And it says, let's see, Coconut Curl says Roland Martin is disgusting for trying to undermine this young man. Let's see, somebody else. The next one, Papa Duck says this guy Roland is full of shit. Mason Hazelwood says tried to make him look stupid when the young man actually was giving lessons on how we can uplift our people. Wait, let me skip down. I read a couple of these earlier, so let me skip the ones I read earlier. Cody West says, I'm a 34-year-old white man, and I will donate to this young man's cause in a heartbeat. Roland owes him an apology. Let's see. Somebody else said this wasn't a Street TV says this wasn't a bait and switch. The young brother just answered your question. Robert Chapman says King Randall said they should bring water and snacks with them. That really impressed me. King Randall is a smart man. Leonard Birch, this slick turned me off, Roland. I'm an MBA educated black man and found no value in his way of using his platform to bash or chastise this young man. Pedrino says King Randall's an example to be followed not only by black people, but by every human being. I am proud of being in the same race, the human race. There is hope for mankind. Cheers from Brazil. Okay, around the world. Wow. Erica Beeler says he's helping educate. It's that simple. When you're educated enough, government does not help you. Let's see the next person. Majida says, I can't believe he's only 21. What an accomplishment. Independent and smart young man. Kudos to him. Ruka Yacht says, this young man's actually on point. Most black leaders give us false narration of how things work in America, and there's more to it. Sean says, this is the type of young man we really need in our communities, not to just sit back on the internet and call them idiots. Sad. Conrad says, seems like Martin is having a hard time getting his head around that the government is not the answer to everything. This young man is a leader, and not only did he buy a school, but he just schooled Roland. Cuckoo says, it took a 21-year-old to wake up the masses of black people to figure out how race hustles like Roland Martin hold us back from greatness with their thinking. Bless this young brother. Child of God says, I fight for young black men before they die. Roland had no comeback. That was a quote by King Randall. So this, I mean, I'm literally reading straight down. I kid you not. Like, go to the page. If you don't believe, go to the YouTube channel on this video. And let me just say this. Let me just say one thing in terms of a how can I say it? A compliment to Roland. Actually, he inadvertently did something great here. He accidentally did something great by bringing King Randall on like that and attacking him like that. He probably propelled this man into a tremendous opportunity to exert, extraordinary leadership in the community. I know that when I gave my money to the school, I asked King Randall. I said, "So how you doing, man? Are you getting donations?" And he said thousands of dollars are pouring in, and I am truly proud of that. I'm really excited to see what he's doing. He's not the only one, though. Remember, you got to get away from this one-dimensional charismatic leadership and start focusing on building systems. You don't need one great school. You need 1,000 schools. You need 3,000 schools, right? You don't need one great leader. You need hundreds of leaders in different areas in order for you to systematically take on white supremacy. This is my last point, guys. So I got to go to a meeting. Remember, white supremacy is a system. Systematic racism is your enemy. When you're fighting, you cannot fight a system with a person. That's like trying to defeat a whole football team because you got one player. You can't beat the Dallas Cowboys are not a good football team, but they are a team. So if I have Patrick Mahomes and I got one player, I can't beat the Cowboys. You could give me the greatest player in NFL history, and that player cannot beat the Dallas Cowboys by himself. To beat a team, you must be a team. To beat a system, you must have a system. Right. So what I'm saying to you, black people, is build your own systems. To take down institutions, you must become an institution. That's how our leadership needs to emerge in the 21st century and beyond. So it ain't just King Randall, it ain't just one or two people. It's all of us working together to try to find a way to make a way and create opportunities for our kids. Got it? Give me a yes in the chat if you follow what I'm saying. Give me a yes in the chat. If anything I said was off base or wrong or whatever, just know I'm flawed, and give me a yes if I can be flawed and still be loved, because I know I'm not perfect, but I had to share what was on my mind, and I hope that this was helpful to you in terms of a conversation. So I'm not going to address the Roland thing anymore. The Roland can do whatever he wants to do. He's going to be over there. I'll be over here. But I just want you guys to win, okay? All right, so have a good day. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe button. And also, don't forget, you can get started in the Black Business School for free. We teach economics every single day. I meet my stock market students every Tuesday. So if you want to talk to one of our people right now for free to get help on your family wealth plan, go to theblackbusinessschool.com. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. And there's my Twitter up there if you want to follow me on Twitter. All right, I'm out. Have a good day. Talk to you guys later. Love you. Peace.